I would just like to say that there is evidence, and many studies have shown, that agricultural yields are declining because soil quality is also eroding after many floods and after many droughts. You don't have the same level of soil quality and nutrients. And by the way, soil is also a huge carbon sink. This is one of the, let's say, environmental services that land also offers. So when I link all of these different aspects together, and I've mentioned uh, poor agricultural practices that deplete soils, deforestation, the use, for instance, an over application of fertilizers and methanes, all of these contribute to carbon emissions. Then we would look at the solutions into reversing some of these trends. So for the first solution is to really look at how are we managing and reducing food waste and loss. A lot of our food that is being produced is actually lost, up to 25 to 30%. That would be the low-hanging fruit and the quick wins to try and really reduce all that food loss by trying to really improve post food harvest handling of food. This would really enable to reduce that immediately and improve on storage and other logistics where food is produced. The second sort of intervention that we can actually do is to incentivize smallholder farmers. Currently, we incentivize them by market access. So we try to ensure some of them have market access. Many of them are locked out, so they're not encouraged to actually participate in markets. But aside from that, we're only rewarding them for the services they provide in terms of food production, but we're not rewarding and recognizing them for the environmental services they actually play. So if they adopt and manage the land resource better, if they incentivize not to cut down forests, if they're actually able to grow more sustainably, for instance, adopting zero tillage practices, all of this has a return in improved environment and in increased biodiversity. So if we can introduce payment for environmental systems and really put this resource in the hands of smallholder farmers, they will feel adequately recognized for the role that they play in as being stewards for the environment whilst they produce food. And so that's the second way of incentivizing smallholder farmers to actually adopt practices that are going to help. The other ways in which we can actually reverse this trend is looking at sustainable land management and the many ways in which we can really help landscapes to regenerate. So for instance, where we look at rangeland management, and we know that cattle need pasture, adopting and producing fodder, also reducing herd size, mapping and really restoring those pasture lands will also increase the land surface's ability to sequester carbon. This is another way of offering ready solutions. Others is to really look at all the types of finance that can be provided at, let's say, national and global scales. We talk about your green climate financing, your green environment facilities that are actually offering different types of financing tools to enable countries to be able to restore, for instance, a degraded land or invest in restoring coastal areas that have been degraded. All of these will encourage and reduce the exposure to climate change and enable smallholder farmers to adapt and mitigate the effects of climate change, hence reducing the overall price of food.